upon misconceptions, which I know is going to ruffle some feathers, but a lot of what I see about Hecate today is very much like new age spirituality, and it's not correct. And I'm going to say appropriate to like combine an ancient goddess with those sorts of ideas. Um, and I always say, because people always ask me, how do you like get to know Hecate? You have to know who she is. Like with anything, like know who she is. And like, a few misconceptions. Like she's not a goddess of the moon. I see that all the time. She's not the mother maiden crone, which I probably say on every podcast episode. I'm just
Oh
gonna open
my
up six and
God.
bones. Hecate is not the mother maiden in crone. That comes from a poem. That's just like a very weird thing that people have captured.
Oh my
And
God.
there's just like a lot, like even her strophalos. Ten and I talk all about this in the course. Her iconography with like her breasts being shown in statues. Now that's not to say, Hellenism is being reconstructed, but like removing Hecate from her roots is not appropriate. And like it's very important to us that we bring light to who she really is, because that's how you know her. That's how you worship her. She has so many different titles and epithets, and like she's so fascinating. I don't know why we try to make her something she's not when she's cool just how she is. Like she has so many different things about her. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but it's all in our course if you're interested.
Oh, like the whole like red string deep dive academic blackout version of all of these topics and more are there for your viewing and educational pleasure. The mother maiden and crone, before we move on into other topics of misconceptions, it's so interesting because outside of the realm of religious studies, spiritual spaces, spiritual practices, whatever you want to call them, anything like that, it's utterly fascinating that this kind of quote unquote aspect of Hekate as Mother Maiden Crone has made it into like the book side of social media. Because, and for anybody out there who is Sarah J. Moss Stan, and you're a Akatar girly, you're a Throne of Glass girly, you're a Crescent City girly, whatever have you, there have been so many theories prior to Crescent City 3 being released that the three-faced goddess in the Throne of Glass series, and I'm not going to say any spoilers for anybody, is Hekate because she is the mother maiden and crone. And the way I want to shriek and
Mhm.
throw my phone and just scream in archaeology that this is not correct, because now it's even come into like uh book talk, books of Instagram, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, don't you do this to Akatar and Throne of Glass. Don't you dare.
Well, it's like when you know the truth about it, it kind of ruins everything for you, because like it comes from a poem from a man who categorized the phases of life as a woman as either being a maiden, a mother, and a crone. We are only those three things and cannot be any more, and we are not less. You have to be a maiden, you have to be a mother, and then you turn into a decrepit old crone. Now I know Tiny and I use the word crone here, but we do it to poke fun. Because witches are always depicted as crones, but it's like, why are we hyping this up when it's like a very weird way and perception to look at women? Like, why do you want to be the mother maiden and crone? And why do we want a goddess to be that? Like, she's only three things.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Hecate is not just three things. So
She's
today,
so many.
what epithet are we talking about Hecate today? Like one of her names that I feel like no one is talking about online except me and you.
The girlies are not talking about the good things, the good news of Hekate, not as the mother maiden and crone. Begone, you mother maiden and crone. But we are talking about Hekate in a different aspect, not even Chthoniya, not even anything like that. We're
No, no,
talking about
that one's too basic for us at this point because everybody knows about that one. This one we're going to talk about today is going to send y'all and be like, I need this in my house and I need to worship this epithet and work with her in this aspect. That's right. Continue.
absolutely, because and the girls who get it because it's Hekate Propylaea.
That's right.
And Propylaea is utterly fascinating. And I'm not going to go into my deep dive aspect of titles and epithets. You can join me on that journey in Hekate 101. But the aspect of Propylaea is so underused, and it's utterly fascinating because even when you look at the translation, transliteration, what does this epithet actually mean? It's so multifaceted in of itself that it's used a certain way in artwork, it's used a certain way in the architectural setup of settlements and everything. It's used in so many different ways, just as a reminder, because everyday life and religion, there was no separation of church and state back in the day, right? So this epithet is so multifaceted and multidimensional that this is what the girls need to be using, you know?
Oh, I'm here for it. And I'm going to show you for those of you that are on YouTube. See, Pluto, he knew we were talking about Hecate and he immediately came over here. Look, here he comes. Here he comes. Excuse me. I have to show the girls the candle, Pluto. This candle is going to be in our store as a prototype, but I want to show you guys like the imagery of Hecate Propylaea. Okay. She is facing three ways and not as the mother, maiden, and crone. This is a epithet of protection and a mobile protection. Like you would have had a statue and you would have had it outside of city gates, things like that for protection. So you can use this. Look at Pluto. He said, we're talking about my girl, Hecate. I must show up, right? You love her. But you can use this in your house as protection. Hecate, if anything, is known as a protector and a guardian in so many different ways, whether it's moving or whether it's immobile, like when she helps Persephone, right? That's moving through things. But this is almost like undeniably immobile protection that you can have. So you can like place any sort of three-way statue of Hecate like this. She would have been associated with terracotta, right, Tom?
So a lot of her statues were made out of terracotta. So not that she was associated, but
That's what I meant. Like it was made out of terracotta.
a lot of early artworks are going to be made out of terracotta. And I mean, this is just utterly fascinating because the aspect of Propylaea is also meshed in this aspect with Hecate trimorphos or triformis, which is like three formed, so it's three formed but also guardian. And it's not just her who has this epithet as well. We also see other gods such as Hermes, her partner in crime in the ancient world, really
Mhm.
shown as Propylaea. And what does that mean for the ancient individuals of ancient Anatolia, which is modern day Turkey? How were the people of ancient Greece on the mainland using this? And how can we kind of bring in these ancient aspects and epithets and titles and modernize them in 2024 today?
Yeah, I find it interesting because a lot of people, a lot of my clients or people that I encounter that ask me questions are always asking about spiritual protection and they worship Hecate and I'm like, "Hello. Hecate is a protector herself." So like
Yes.
knowing this is why Ten and I get on our soapbox with these things because when you know these epithets and how the ancients were venerating these gods, you can incorporate this in your everyday life. And not everybody that's involved in worshiping the gods, like we said, is practicing magic, but like you might want protection. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
asking for protection, you're venerating her. Why do we celebrate Deipnon? All these things. It's like knowing this is like a very powerful tool in your own relationship with her because she's not a mother of witches. I hate to say it, but like that is new age spirituality. I get why Hecate is associated with magic, but like calling her a mother of witches to me, I just like it's not something the ancients would have done. Like that's not even a term that was used. So like I get the necromancy part falling under magic and like it is really like a new concept. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's like you could do so much like Hecate
Yes.
has so many different epithets, and so did the other Greek gods. And I feel like people only hyper focus on like this one aspect because it's cool or it's trending online. But it's like to know Hecate is to study Hecate, and like she is just so many things.